got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Here in this phenomenal race, Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin still lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PSGL F4 round 4 here at the Qatar Grand Prix. And I'm joined by my good friend Josh. Josh, why have you got...
Hi, how are we doing all here in F4? We've had a little bump up today, cover some numbers. How are we doing?
Why do you have a guitar?
You told me it was for Qatar Grand Prix, so I'm practicing.
You brought... But no, it's the Qatar Grand Prix.
So
Not
I've spent a week learning how to play the A chord on a guitar.
Well, you might as well play it for us now.
Oh, well, okay. There you go. Happy?
Yeah, right. So you brought that all with you?
Yeah.
In your
suitcase, yeah.
Anyway, miscommunication again. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to F4. If you haven't watched our F6 streams, that end text probably makes no sense at all.
Absolutely
but
zero.
Don't adjust your TV sets. We are doing F4 this weekend. Obviously, some people are away, so we have been promoted up to F4 to give you guys a good stream. And I think from what we've seen and what we've researched, we're in for a treat this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I can real quickly, we can hop over to the driver standings here. So we can have a look at the F4 lay of the land. And we did a little bit of research before we came onto stream here. And my word, everything is up in the air.
Yeah, very much so. It's close between a lot of drivers. A lot of drivers still yet to score points even 3 rounds in. But hopefully, we should have a full grid today as well. 20 drivers around a very new circuit. Very new circuit indeed.
Yeah, I mean, considering we should only have the one reserve today as well, it's really looking promising. But so far, the driver standings, they're equal up at the top there. But the more these drivers race, the more they compete, the larger we can expect these gaps to come. And unlike our usual in F6, a couple of these drivers here, they've made a for themselves in this league and in the way they drive and their mannerisms. Do you reckon we could see a couple of clashes similar to what we saw previously?
Very possibly. Obviously, the Qatar Grand Prix, not the Qatar Grand Prix, as much as I'm sure Josh is upset about that.
Yeah.
It's one of those circuits where you can overtake. There's long back straights, DRS zones, and obviously as you know from this game, slipstream is incredibly powerful in this year's game. If you get a launch off that final corner, you will get them into turn one, no doubt. But the flowing nature of this circuit means you're basically 100% pushing every lap. There's not really a stop time for you. I'm sure we'll go over a lap in qualifying. We have a treat for you guys later for that. But I think we're in for a real treat. I do love this circuit. I think it's fantastic. I know, Josh, you're not a massive fan of it yourself, but we did see some okay racing in 2021. We saw a lot of tyre blowouts in 2021 as well, due to the nature of the curbs. I doubt we'll see that today, but tyre wear is a problem as well. So 29 laps, a short qualifying to come, and some of the best drivers that PSGL can offer. So, you know.
I mean, I'll sit here and I'll look over to my screen here at the lobby. We got the likes of Leo Lund. Didn't have the best showing at Silverstone, but absolute phenomenal driver. We've got Sven Schumacher, and I'm not just saying he's good because of a surname. He's genuinely a fantastic driver. We've got Violo, Silly Sly, like some of these drivers, Santa Maria especially as well. All of these drivers are really well built up in this community and really well respected. And I, for one, really want to be able to see him take the wheel around these 16 corners of Qatar. As much as I'm not a fan of a circuit, I do think it has a place on the calendar.
Yeah, I think it does. In terms of, obviously, we all know F1's expansion into the Middle East, and we all probably know the real reason why. But, you know, in terms of racing, we've actually been given quite a lot of good tracks in the Middle East. You know, Bahrain is a good track, even though me and Josh don't particularly like it. It is a good track for racing. We've seen a lot of racing there. Saudi Arabia is actually a really nice circuit. Like, the street aspect of it. It's, you know, Josh, again, I quite like it. I quite enjoy it. You know, some street circuits are a bit hit and miss. But obviously, and I think Qatar, even though we've only had one Grand Prix there, we'll have the other one later this year in real life. I think it's the third last race of the calendar, I think.
It's very close, isn't it? Towards
It's very close to the end. It doesn't work at all with the going to different places. I think we go to Qatar and then to Vegas and then back to Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Which
something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, but this should be valentina and it's a night race as well, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm just grateful it's not a street circuit, it's an actual track. You
Yeah.
know, we've had the likes of Valentino Rossi, Marquez, Casey Stoner winging their bikes around this track and really, you know, using everything that MotoGP has given them throughout the years to be able to construct laps. And then, as we discovered earlier, Nikita Mazepin and Sergio Perez come around here. You know, there's a place for this in junior formulas, and we've seen it before.
Yeah.
Where perhaps on some circuits, the junior formula cars work great, and the F1 cars not so much. But I wholeheartedly feel like the F1 cars work really well around here as well.
I think so. I think the fact that these are obviously the ground effect cars now, the amount of downforce these things have, even on low downforce settings, is you are just rapid anywhere around this circuit. If you put it flat down, full throttle down, it will probably stick because of how just how the nature of the circuit is. It's very flat. There's not a lot of elevation changes. Due to actually Qatar is the second flattest country in the world. The flattest country in the world is the Netherlands. That is the flattest country in the world.
That explains the reason why we have so many Dutch drivers perform well
Yes.
around here. Well, supposedly for the end of the season, but
Lewis is the only driver to win here in Formula One.
Yeah.
He is the fastest driver on the track, but who was the fastest driver before Lewis Hamilton?
It was Casey Stoner
Mm.
back on the Ducati in 2008. Despite them running MotoGP bikes in 2014 here as well, when Marquez, I believe, won, with Rossi coming on the podium there as well. But no, that takes me back to our childhood watching Casey Stoner on that Ducati. Legends. But
I've not seen a lot of MotoGP, so that's not really my aspect.
no, it was back in the old days. I used to sit down and watch it. When was the Grand Prix on? It was always MotoGP. But I got exciting news to tell you.
Oh,
Drivers are readying up. It's looking crispy. And yes, of course, you can put me a little bit louder. Just let me know if that's okay.
yeah. Do let us know if there's anything you want to change.
Please come interact. We're social. We're social creatures. We're in F6. Any interaction with chat, beautiful. We love it. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some drivers in for interaction as well. Be able to give them a quick interview. Apparently, you guys normally do the full podium here in F4, which I find very cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Why is that just... that was odd. Sorry, it's just something weird happened on the screen, but it's fine. Oh, it's
Yeah,
changed.
I believe
That was odd.
they changed it to equal performance.
Yes, it went to
thankfully-
F2 very quickly for a second, but
I
yes.
thought we was in for a treat there. 0 ground
Yeah.
checks, everyone going wide. Let's go.
That's crazy. But yeah, so of course the other thing we mentioned is when you said briefly, Perez and Mazepin were the only two drivers to drive around this circuit before F1 came here in 2021 because they
Yeah.
drove in junior formula. That was during the 2008-2009 Asia Series, where Nico Hulkenberg actually finished on the podium and won that afternoon. He then proceeded to not finish on the podium for the next 12 years of his Formula One career.
Soon to be 13. Sorry, House. But
Sorry, Hulkenberg. One day, maybe. Fingers crossed.
one day. Right. I will just have a little check over here to see if we can find anyone who's not in the lobby. I mean, it looks like we've got a couple of good drivers in.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to expose us here, Alex, because when we was watching the Silverstone footage, we decided that, you know, it may or may not be the best idea to start making some people's names slightly more, how do we say this? Interesting.
Yes.
So we came up with a Ben Marple's chant, racing
gosh.
for TES. I'll tell you what, if this stream gets well enough and we end up getting invited back to F4, I might post it on our Twitters. That would be a sight, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it just?
Wouldn't it just? But no, that power is in your hands. Let me know if the volume's okay now, guys.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Also, just want to quickly mention before we get into the game, as this is our first time streaming F4, if we say your favourite driver's name wrong,
correct
we
us.
do apologise and correct us.
Please.
I will try my best, but with my ability to read names, let's say, I will get names wrong. I will try my best to say them correctly, and if I can't say them right, I'll just say the car that are driving. You guys can read the names. It's all good.
Yeah, no, I'll try my best. We did Google Translate a couple of the names, but
Yeah, we did.
You know, when it spells it out for you, it's not the most helpful. I appreciate Google Translate the best of times. Did wonders in my GCSE French, but that's besides the point here. No, we've got the drivers all readying up. Doesn't look like we're swapping to F2 cars here.
Nope, and we're in.
But it looks like we'll be getting going in Qatar, which leads us on to Alex. We did a little bit of work behind the scenes. We've been cracking. We've been going.
Yes.
And we've also done a couple of races here and there around our journeys. But we decided to be able to try and spare a little bit of time to give you guys a little bit of extra content of what it's going to be like around this Qatar circuit. Would you like to say what you've done?
We're about to show you a lap of me driving around the Qatar Grand Prix circuit in time trial. It won't be anywhere near as fast as the lap time we'll see for pole.
Are you sure? You sure?
Well, we're gonna find out. But anyway, this is a lap around the Qatar Grand Prix. Right, take you around a lap of the Qatar GP here. Take you around a full flying lap. So DRS enabled here down the back straight. Running 50 diff and 52 front brake bias. That's obviously subjective. Into turn 1. Keep to the right hand side and then go down into 5th gear. You want to get the power on as soon as you can for the first right hander. And then once again, little brake and then straight back on the power. This circuit is so grippy, you'll have the grip around this circuit. Through a couple of corners here, aim for the apexes. You want to go to the left-hand side here, brake, go into 6th gear. Careful not to invalidate here on the left-hand side. Easy to track limit violation. Ride that curb on the right. Trickiest corner on the circuit, heavy braking zone. And then aim for the apex, then get the power back on again. You can run wide on that curb outside. So now hit for this corner. Trick again, run as far wide as you can so you can carry as much speed through the corner. You can run over this curb here. And then switch to the right-hand side. Be a lot more aggressive on that curve, heavy braking zone a bit, and then back on the power again. Careful not to invalidate again on the left-hand side. And now through this final sector of the track, you don't want to take your foot off the throttle once. Keep it in 7th gear. Aim for every apex, careful not to invalidate. Should have the grip through this corner. Another corner that you can take semi-flat out, be careful of invalidating on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, sorry. Then into 5th again. for the final corner, back on the power. DRS enabled. Up to 8th gear, and you cross the line. You set a 1:21.6.
Well, that was a lap and a half, let's say. Interesting. A lot of lefts and rights.
Yep.
But we'll be looking here to see if any of these drivers can pick their way through, let's say, and perhaps come out on top and maybe just set a little bit of a faster lap time. As
I imagine it'll be slightly faster than my lap time attempt.
Potentially, but I wouldn't write yourself off too soon, Alex. But we do have Jeremy here in the AlphaTauri. Now, we've seen what the AlphaTauri is capable of in the other categories, let's say, here at the PSGL, and for some reason they always perform really well.
They do.
It's the water there, I swear. It's brilliant.
There's not water there. It should be. But yes, this is a lot of run-up area in this place. But yeah, the AlphaTauri always seems quite planted around this circuit. To be fair, as we under the lights here, you could just see how fast the car can go around here. Like, I wouldn't imagine he lifted once through that set of corners there at all. And if it's going to be anything, it's going to be little dabs of the brake. But as we should mention, very easy to invalidate here.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about being able to keep the car balanced. We saw it. Nico Rosberg was absolutely fantastic at it back in the day. If you guys are new to my commentate, you'll know I absolutely adore Nico and his driving style. He used to be able to apply the brake and the throttle just enough to be able to keep the car balanced in and dialed up to perfection, which is definitely something that a lot of these drivers are going to have to try and use. Alex, mate, I've got a snitch here. Apparently someone in chat says you hate the AlphaTauri.
Well, I hate driving the non-equal performance AlphaTauri. Yes, it is the worst car ever created by man, and it should be burned.
Well, we'll see what Jeremy has to say about that one as he comes down the main straight, which is, I believe it's over 1 kilometre long, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yes. Oh my god, it's going to smash my own lap time.
Oh, you're in the mud. 120.2.
Yes. Well, yeah, mine was on time trial as well.
Yeah.
I would just like to say I only did one attempt on that lap, just to get my excuses in.
No worries. I mean, we've got a couple of the drivers here coming across the line as we go. I'll keep an eye on Mr. Marples down here. I'm sure he had an abundance of pace at Silverstone. He's got his head together. The engineering team down there at Red Bull, they seem to get their work sorted. Nice and put away. That'll take him into P2.
Yeah, we're going to see some ridiculously close times there today. As Alexander puts it, 120.1. The other Red Bull. It's a Red Bull 1 and 3 at the moment, with an AlphaTauri sandwiched in the middle. It's a Red Bull sandwich.
Daniel Ricciardo fans are eating the heart out at the minute, aren't they? They wish,
yeah, they really are.
They wish that was the way to go. But I can almost guarantee the reason why Dimas was able to do such a good lap time. Because he followed the advice on the right-hand side of your screen at the minute. Upgrade your cockpit. GT Omega, it's the company you want to go for. Not just saying that because they sponsor us. They honestly make fantastic chairs.
They do.
They're so comfortable. Unfortunately, not in a position to be able to get one myself yet. But
No.
the second paycheck comes in, I'm using it. I don't care.
Just full sending one for the
Yeah, absolutely.
for the GT Omega chair. I would personally. But looking at these lap times here, let's be honest. We in our F6 we see some close times, but not separated by hundreds of seconds. Like, there is 78,000 separating third and first. There's a tenth separating seventh and first.
It's scary. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Like,
And I thought my Qatar lap was fast, but these guys are putting it to shame.
yeah, I mean, looking at Andre Molnar here. Apologies about the name. I'm trying my best.
Yep.
ET8. Now he seems to have pulled back on this lap.
Yeah, he's backed off.
Not
Something I would like to.
invalidated, but-
Yeah, not invalidate. Something I'd like to mention as well, doing laps around this circuit, because of the way your ERS deploys power, giving you, the power out of the corners most of the time, you will actually tend to run out of your ERS deployment before you cross the line. So your deployment will run out as you're reaching the line. So you might not have as much ERS to complete a lap as you would say around a different circuit.
Yeah, I suppose a lot of that's down to how much you would actually want to be on the brake.
Yes.
Obviously, the way that ERS is generated through Codemasters is they'll do a lap. They'll estimate the amount of breakage used from real-life data and a bit of the in-game data that the test subjects, let's call them, run. Which, let's be honest, I doubt it'll be anyone much quicker than these guys here.
No, I wouldn't imagine
They'll
it.
be an awful lot slower, but that'll affect the amount of ERS that they'll allow to be generated per lap here and allow to be deployed. Now, these drivers will be on the brake less, on a higher throttle. It's more than likely that throughout the laps and throughout the time, the ERS will be whittled away, let's say. As we've got Santa Maria here with the invalidated lap. The lap of shame, let's say, afterwards.
We're going to see a lot of that.
It's there's no shame in it around this circuit, because boy oh boy is it something sometimes.
Yeah, it's adding on to the fact that you have to push on the limits every corner, and the fact that the game isn't that brilliant at track limits, you'll get a lot of violations. I expect to see a lot of time penalties in the race. These are professional drivers, a lot better than me, as it's already been proven. But like in terms of the way these guys keep it in track limits at the speed they do is crazy. Like I struggle to keep it in track limits a lot of the time, but you have to push on the edge with these guys because of how close the margin is. To be honest with you, a second separating the top 12, and some of these guys haven't set properly competitive lap times yet as well. And we see Marak, I'm going to say Marak, I do apologise for your name.
Yeah.
Marak is coming around the final corner now. Take it pretty much flat, that final corner. DRS enabled, yeah, see look, deployment all used there before he's even reached the start-finish line, and he crosses the line now to a 20.4. That is quite ridiculous, your deployment ends there.
Yeah, no, that leaves at least a quarter of the straight that you're not deploying any ERS whatsoever, which could definitely be the difference for at least 2 attempts here, if not maybe more, depending on who's got slipstream where and what's going on. But
yeah,
I'll tell you what, Andrew down here, P14 in the Mercedes, had a bit of a tough time so far. He's gone out, done a couple laps, invalidated them. He's gone out again. He invalidated the out lap, and he's also invalidated this fast lap.
Yeah. Struggling to keep it between the lap. It's very difficult.
That's how this circuit is sometimes, though, isn't it? I mean, you keep mentioning these track limits; they're dangerous. There's someone who I've seen quite a bit of recently, Corden N'Gola, in the house.
Corden N'Gola. Yes.
So, say it with me, guys. Kodor N'Gola.
Kodor N'Gola. Great name.
Great name. It is a great name. It took me an awful lot of time to be able to really say his name properly.
Without butchering it.
Without butchering it, without stuttering halfway through, because my brain just does not want to say Olo. It's a tough one. It really is.
Yes.
But if Kodor N'Gola isn't for you, Alex, I'm sure Kodor will do just fine.
I'm sure he will. Kodor, I'm sure that will be the name I use for him anyway. But Kodor is on his lap here in his Haas livery. I really like that Haas livery. I know, Josh, you're not a massive fan of it. But yes, you can see, we're looking on the telemetry here. You just want to pay attention to how little he actually uses the brakes here in the track. If we watch the track guide, you can see, look, just little taps on the brakes there, keeping that flat through there. Yeah, 30% that. This is the heaviest braking zone on the track. And again, nothing really to like just slow it down and straight back on the power. And little tap again, not even using half the brake. Oh, and he has a snap. That will invalidate his lap time, and he will have to back out. Yeah, that is it. That is invalidation. So easy to invalidate because of how odd that corner is. It's off camber. It's a really wide runoff area, and the curb is sort of indented into the corner. You can run over it, but you can get invalidated very easily.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a track where you've got to be able to manage to keep all your wheels in between the lines and be able to try and get everything dialed up as best you can. Someone who I believe deserves a quick mention, especially from his result he had at Silverstone, is Silly.
Silly Sly.
He really stood out to us when we was going back to watch the broadcast. Not just because he decided to play in the sandpit like he's doing now, but because the consistency he was able to show in Williams. It was mightily impressive, I must say.
Yeah, it's very impressive indeed. Currently up in P4, which you say, oh, well, he's not in, not the front three, but he's about 34,000 off of the front three.
It's
So,
such little in it. As Leo
ooh,
Lund ends up getting
Leo
there.
Lund,
I'll tell you what.
20.0.
Keep an eye on this Red Bull here. Ben Marple's up a 10th in that second sector.
That won't move him up too much, but it depends how much he gained on the first and finals first sector.
Oh, he gained enough. He gained enough.
Gained enough to put it on the second row in third, just behind his teammate. But there's still a 10th off of pole position. Are we going to see someone dip into the 119s?
I hope not, for your sake, because that just makes you all look absolutely terrible.
That's 3 seconds off then. If I did a 22, which I can't even remember if I did.
That's bad. As Kodor ends up leaving the session.
Hopefully he'll be able to get back in.
Yeah, surely Kodor's going to be able to find enough time to get back in. But Rehard's here. Mr. Sprogis, the partner in crime of Kodor in my house here.
Currently P7.
Gets up to P7.
Only a 10th.
Now, FVR, a team which they know what the pace is about. Both these drivers, they know they can go quick on good days. But I hate to say it, in PSGL, sometimes it is just a different type of gravy. To quote Tomo F1, to be honest with you. Because look at here, he's a 10th and a half away from pole. In any other league, in any other racing championship, that'll be 3-4 positions maybe.
Yeah.
Not 6.
Not 6 at all. Yeah, I stuck it on the second row of the grid in my league race the other day, and that was only by a few thousandths of a second, but then there was a bigger gap behind. But it's one of these things where if we watch PSGL, you realise how competitive it is and how close these drivers can be to each other. Because, you look down the grid and you think, oh, well, that the Ferraris are second off. To be honest with you, in any sort of, normal league where people wouldn't be racing properly competitive, that's a huge gap. But this isn't really a huge gap. And Andrew is on a lap here and looking pretty good in the Mercedes. Let's see what his middle sector's like.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. It's
53.1. It is purple, but he actually hasn't set his own lap time yet, so that might be just his best purple middle sector.
Potentially.
But yeah, breathtaking through here. And through the final corner,
level of commitment.
Yeah, more committed than I was when I did that corner. And through the final corner now in 5th gear, back on the power again. Careful not to invalidate there on the left-hand side. DRS wide open. Deployment being all used down the back straight. He crosses the line now to put himself P9. Jumps him to a 120.3. 2 tenths off of pole position. With 3 minutes 50 left.
I'll tell you what, Marek here as well, about to cross the lane, sneaks himself up into P8. Now, these alternated run plans here, they've still got enough time to come round, finish the lap, dive into the pits and go again, which is critical for them to try and get out on the best sort of circuit possible, let's call it. No, it'll be important for them to be able to get all this dust off the circuit and get the track properly rubbered in. Which tends to be a lot of problems in the Middle East tracks, right? Majority of them are towards deserts. The sand blows in, the dust comes in, and then overnight all the rubber ends up just getting took off with it. Yeah. So it'll be.
It's very similar to the way rain works on a track that has a lot of, but very rarely rains here at Qatar. It only rains 6 times in a year.
Are we
so I don't think
we'll be racing on one of the 6.
Don't think we're going to see a wet race. Maybe we will. That'll be quite the race if we're racing on a wet Grand Prix. I think these drivers would even struggle with that because obviously, I think tracks that aren't designed to be wet really struggle for grip wise. But anyway, got our Ferrari man here, Tamas. I wasn't going to say his name as that. Yeah. He's currently on a lap. He's 3 tenths up in the middle sector. Obviously, he's a second down on pole, so that is quite a big gain. We've got a 5-place grid penalty for Lillian there.
I
for
don't
illegal
think that'll
blocking.
stand.
No, I think we reset with anyone that gets grid penalties, don't we? I believe that's how it works.
Yeah, it should
be. That's an invalidation, surely. It's not. It's not an invalidation.
So whether Tamas has ended up losing too much time there. He's still up, which is a good sign. It's good for him that his lap isn't completely ruined, but surely you would be thinking about abandoning the lap at this point, recharging the battery as much as you can, but Tamas says absolutely not. I'm going for it. This is my chance.
Yeah, he needs to move up the grid. It really is.
It's absolutely beautiful to see. A little wide there, but he's able to bring it back across the line. Alex, what's it going to be?
It's going to be a 120.1. Oh, it's close. It's a 120.9. That going wide really, really messed him up there.
Yeah, it's hugely unfortunate. Say the least. Someone else as well, who might end up just being in a spot of trouble is Santa Maria and Baca down here in P18 and P19. Now, they've not been able to start a lap yet. The laps got invalidated, and there seems to be an awful lot of traffic going around the circuit at the minute.
Yeah, backing up is going to be quite big around here with the final couple of laps going on. To be honest with you, as much as slipstream is very helpful down that long back straight, you don't want dirty air going through basically every other corner around this circuit. So we're going to see some very fast flying laps here. Pressure is now on the drivers. Everyone has done all they can, and if the driver invalidates, well, that's on them. And this is literally last gasp for everyone. And with a 10th separating the top 9, and with 2 temps separating basically the top 10, it's anyone's game who's going to get pole position here.
Yeah, no, looking... As much as I do love the off-board shots in this game, there's something different about being able to ride on board with these drivers. Watching them use all the track limit and the car just sticking like it's absolutely on rails. As Marek calls it for his session, retires thinking that he's not going to get enough time to get another lap in.
I reckon he invalidated.
Potentially.
Oof, that was close from Lillian. The fact that they kept that on the green.
Way too close, Lillian. Come on, please.
7 thousandths down. I think they lost a lot of time. They've got to find. There's not a lot of time to be gained in these final couple of corners. Full commitment is needed from the AlphaTauri now. Will they do the final corner flat? It's full commitment there, and they almost lost the rear end. Can they do the final corner fast as well? It's so fast and flowing this circuit. Lillian towards the line now. DRS open for the AlphaTauri driver. They need a few thousandths to move up a position. Will they get anything? I don't think they will.
No.
Across the line, it's a 10th down on their fast lap.
I'll tell you.
And we now have a Williams driver now as well.
Leo has decided just to call it in the pits and retire. He doesn't think he can go any better.
Oh, that's a 99. And another 99, 87 thousandths down on his lap time. Dimas
Keep it out for marbles.
puts it onto the pole. Marbles, his Red Bull teammate. Can he put it onto pole position? No. Does improve, but only by 34 thousandths of a second. This is crazy.
Ladies ended up having the lap time invalidated. So it'll all come down here. P18. Invalidated as well.
Invalidated, which means we have a Red Bull pole, and it's a 119.9. We thought we'd see a 119, and that really does put my lap time to shame.
Yeah, but tell you something which shouldn't go to shame is Den Blanken in the YouTube chat saying, "Let's go, Mercs and Rehard. Rehard's done you well. He's took that house up into P2 with what could have been a sub 20, which would have been a fantastic lap time. But let's get running through the order, shall we, Alex?
Yeah, we'll run through the order. So Alexander is on pole with a 119.9, and then I'm gonna say Sprigus is second, 87 thousandths, and then City Sly in third. Lund is in fourth. Jeremy is in fifth. Ben Marples is in sixth. Schumacher is in seventh. Marike is in eighth. Lillian is in ninth, and Andrew is in 10th. That is your top 10, separated by about 0.3 of a second. We will get confirmation for you if we are going to restart due to that penalty, and we are going to restart. So we are going to have a quick restart here.
While we end up doing restart, let's time it perfectly and chuck you guys into a cheeky little ad break. But it's back to us here, and currently going through a little reset. So if you don't mind me looking over here, I'll just pretend like I'm staring in Alex's beautiful eyes in his very swanky shirt.
Thank you.
So.
Well, you look good yourself.
Oh, come on, get off it.
Oh, No, yeah. So what a qualifying session, as Josh just sorting something out very quickly. But yeah, qualifying was fantastic as we thought it would be. A few thousandths of a second separating, well, 3 drivers up at top, P1, P2, and P3, and then about 3/10 separating the rest of the field, which is, as we always expected, quite incredible around PSGL. I'm always wowed by seeing these drivers. Just like as Josh said, yeah, you can ride off board with these drivers all the time. It's fantastic, but riding on board under the lights and seeing these ground effect cars work to their best of their ability is just insane.
They
It's
are
honestly just insane.
they're a different animal, honestly. Like watching these drivers be able to go around here. Last time I tried to do a race at Qatar, I ended up in Bahrain. I was that far out of the track limits. Also needs to be mentioned as well. I had a quick look when I was trying to get some stills for the for thumbnails for different graphics we run here for our streams here at PSGL, and I noticed something as well. There's a very little difference between the flags of Bahrain and Qatar.
Well, they are very close to each other in terms of places on a map.
Yeah, it's literally just the coloured section. That is it. There's no other difference. Just a different shade, let's say. But no, we are getting the lobby reset for you guys.
Yes, it's working at the moment.
It's a lovely little EA Codemasters problem, unfortunately, but we're getting there. And I'm also trying to get Alex a little bit of audio here for his
Yes, I don't know what's
personal
exactly
stream.
happening.
I'm
well,
not sure.
There's not even any audio, unless it's because I've got the audio muted on the Ninja.
Potentially.
I got speaker muted, but that means I hear you twice.
Right. I mean, do you have a volume for me? To be able to turn me down?
I could just mute you, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh no, you are muted.
Oh. That's impressive. How have we done that?
Oh wait, there we go.
There we go.
Hang on.
Oh no, here we go. Technical difficulties.
That work. I may just need to rejoin the thing.
Uh-oh. This is
Hang on,
everyone say goodbye to Alex. Alex is
may rejoin the
disappearing
ninja.
forever. Bye, Alex. Bye, Alex. But no, we had a great qualifying session. Alex should still be able to talk even though he's not here.
Yes, I can. Yes.
Beautiful. But someone I feel like perhaps maybe underestimated himself a little bit was Leo Lund in the McLaren. Welcome back, Alex.
Welcome back. Hello.
Beautiful.
I still don't have any audio. That's fine. It's not a massive problem.
Not the end of the world. I can make the car sounds for you if you want.
They're not V12s, so you know I'm not too upset about it.
Wow. Okay. He's just throwing shade on this fantastic generation of cars by going, we're not V12s.
Yeah, bring back the
True.
V12s, as Sebastian Vettel said.
Leo Lund, very unfortunate in qualifying. He thought he did enough to pip it and get pole, but it wasn't enough. Perhaps he invalidated his lap time, abandoned it, pulled into the pits. But
it's possible. It's so easy to invalidate around here, as we were talking about. But yeah, a 119 around this circuit is quite impressive. Obviously, you know, my lap was even better, but very impressive from our pole sitter in the Red Bull. Red Bull 1-3, if I'm not mistaken. So are we going to see obviously a bit of team play here?
I mean, I'll tell you what. One thing we probably won't see much of is team play between Kodor and Rehards. Basically, the entire field separation of them, P2 and P20, due to the track limits avoiding the likes of Rehard and Baker being able to do a lap, which really just goes to show that these drivers practice day in, day out. They work their absolute butts off, getting laps done, getting practice in for these. And sometimes they're pushing the limit so much to try and get that 10th of a second that they're not even able to keep it in track limits.
No, exactly. It's one of those things where if you don't push to the limit, you're not going to beat the limit. So you gotta really just try your best around this circuit.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, you know, you'll go over a curb slightly and the game says invalidate and you think that's not invalidation, and obviously when you look back at it, it's clearly an invalidation. But as racing drivers, as I know and as Josh will know from racing drivers, you don't want to blame yourself when you're out on track. If you go out, you have an incident or you have an invalidation, it's not your fault because you know you're racing. The car turned left. The car went right. The car, you know, dived down the inside. It's not, you know, it's not your problem.
Yeah.
It's the car around you's problem. But after the race, you look at it, and it's still not your problem. But you know, you realise that you know maybe it was more of your problem. But anyway, these are professional drivers,
Yep.
and I expect to see a fantastic 29 laps of racing. It's a long set of laps because it's a short circuit.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not all, well, distance-wise it is a long circuit, but lap time-wise it's pretty short because the amount of speed we're able to carry through the turns. I'm thinking the likes of turn 12, turn 13. On any other circuit, you would have to brake a little bit harder, but around here it's so flowing. It's all connected one after the other that they're able just to wing it in, and it just goes. It sails.
Well, turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 are pretty much all flat.
Yeah.
So, which is mad. But anyway,
impressive.
It's race time.
Indeed it is. Everyone's readied up in the lobby, so there'll be a little period of window where everyone's going to be able to
do their setups,
making sure they're the same as the qualifying one. We're watching you. Guys,
yes, don't change it.
Guys, come on, we're watching you. We've had enough of that over the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
I know what you're like. Shout out to GB. But
I'd change it.
And Jake. But besides the point, the list goes on. But we're here at Qatar. I did a rain dance earlier, and I won't lie to you, I don't think it's worked. I don't think I had enough moves. I don't feel like I got in the groove enough.
It's not raining here, unfortunately.
Good news, you don't have to sit through a qualifying session with a coat on, like we did last week down in F6.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
I'll tell you, you guys are missing out if you don't come join F6 occasionally. There's a different kind of beans down there. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a wild blast. But
obviously, no formation lap as well.
No formation lap.
So we're going to get straight into some racing once everyone has done their setups. You can see the crowd there on the edge of the DHL. They're just, cheering on their favourite driver.
I'll get it switched over. Look at them, all cheering.
All cheering on. That's all of you. That's the fans right now. You're watching this from the stands.
How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like all 12 of you cheering on your favourite drivers. Or perhaps just here to enjoy the spectacle. Some engineers upgrading your cockpit. That's what you should be doing if you're sitting up there. You want a better seat. You want a comfier seat. Type !GTO Omega in the chat to be able to pull up. Don't forget to use PSGL as a discount code to get yourself a cheeky little discount. But while this is still happening, I want to swap it back to us. But at the same time, if I swap it back to us, no, my luck, we'll get chucked in straight onto the red lights.
So
we leave it.
We'll just leave it on here just in case, because if it does appear, we have had that failure in the past. Anyway, here we go for 5 red lights here at the Qatar Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. And it's a good start from Dimas. It's a good start from our Haas-Jar on the front row. They're all on the hard set of tyres and into the first corner. Are they all going to behave themselves? On board with Lund here as he gets tagged in the rear, but there's no one spinning around. There's an AlphaTauri off the road in the back, and they're basically 4-5 wide here as we go through the first set of corners. Everyone keeping it decently clean as you see Marple's trying to make a move up the inside. No doing there, and everyone facing the right direction, but a great start from our race leader.
This is terrifying. I've never really watched a race here around Qatar. Last year, I was doing a bit of work, so I couldn't unfortunately watch a race, and I am absolutely terrified for these drivers here, all within basically 2 tenths of each other. This is absolutely terrifying. I would not like to be on this grid at the minute. Someone else who probably doesn't want to be on the grid at the minute is Marquez. Oh my word! Was there a bit of contact there, or was that just a little snap there?
That was a little tap in the rear. God knows how he's kept that going in a straight line. But anyway, we got overtakes everywhere right now. We got trying to go around the outside of the final sector is not something I would try. It is so flat through here that any little lift off, any sort of moment of hesitation from these drivers, and everyone will pounce. And there's a good run here from Noel. Can he get him into the final corner around the outside of the final corner?
Surely not.
And he keeps it around flat around the outside. He's still there. Milan, to be fair, gives him room, and he makes the move stick, and he's up into P14. Great move there.
We've
from the
just had a move for the
driver.
lead as well. Noel, you animal, putting it around the outside there. But Sproggis has been able to jump Dimas here at the start. And your guys' pick here, Silly Sly Guy as well, sitting comfy in P3. Everyone, apart from Baka, has gone onto the hard tyres at the start. Are we looking for a swap straight to the softs? Is that the game plan here for these guys?
I think this will be the game plan. Hards, we have been told and we have been confirmed that they do grain up a lot in this year's game. Run a circuit that is basically flat for pretty much all of it. You're going to need some hard tyres, and these guys know exactly what they're doing. They'll have the best strategies, best setups in the land. And yeah, great move there to take the lead of the race. So easy to overtake into turn 1, ridiculously easy. And we're going to see that happen quite a few times.
Tell you what, Alex, I'm looking here on the onboard of Jeremy with the lovely people at home. Leo Lund is able to take some extraordinary lines into some of these corners following Silly Sly Guy. If you look, he's not following Silly at all. He's making up his own lines as we go, and he's able to pick it apart well enough to be able to get the turning of the car, the front wing, that little bit of dirty air which still comes off these cars despite... He's able to get the car turned in, and he's keeping it really well balanced, which I was not expecting at all there through that second sector. So congratulations, Leo Lund. You've got the most impressive wheel so far, let's say.
I think we're going to see another change of the lead here as Dimas tries to go. Well, I thought you were thinking around the outside of turn 1. That would be brave.
P12 around the outside of turn 1. He went for it as well down here. Violo, he's not taking
it. Late. Oh, he's still there on his inside. The Williams driver knows he's there. Can the Aston keep it round the outside? There's a bit of wheel banging, but nothing too problematic there. As he keeps into P12, we've got to overtake the hard. So our medium runner will need to make these mediums work very quickly to overtake a lot of these drivers. And Baker, I'm going to say his name as that's his last name, or Backer, is looking pretty tasty. Obviously, there's something else I want to mention very quickly. ERS gets drained a lot around here, as we talked about in qualifying. But the other thing that gets drained, fuel. The fact this circuit basically has no braking zones at all, you need to have a lot of fuel on board, otherwise you are going to run out very quickly.
Won't be any closer into the braking zones, I can almost guarantee you that, but there'll be a lot more lifting, I can almost guarantee when it comes to the last couple of laps around here. But someone else here who's decided, no, he doesn't want to lift, is Leo Lund, as I believe Jeremy ended up having a little spin there.
Oh, I think he's dropped back. So easy to drop your rear end through that sector because you've got to keep it flat. You've got to keep it committed because everyone else is. And if your car is not set up that way, it's no commitment. And we've got a change for the lead of the race. Dimas takes the lead ahead of the Haas driver. And I think our man behind Silly Sly is looking to pick up the pieces in his Williams car. He's looking on rails in that Williams car, just behind the two leaders. And we've got an overtake in the background there as well as the Alfa Romeo goes up the inside, or he thought about it, and he backed off there.
Nicola decided that's perhaps not the best move, as Andrew having to catch that car. This move's all over the field. Jeremy, after his little instant, he thinks, right, okay, no, I deserve better than this. I'm absolutely going for it, and there's no way he's going to be able to try and pull this off around the outside of Violo.
No, around the outside, it's not possible there at all. There is not enough room. There's not enough track really to make a move even possible around that corner. You can cut that corner. They're doing that very well, as we said, right on the limit every single time. Lydian has just lost a place to Nicole up in front in P7. And that is a change for the Alfa Romeo. It's changing the back. It's changed everywhere. It's very hard to keep up with everything.
Everything is going on at the minute, but
which is to the flowing nature of the circuit. But yeah, DRS is enabled now as we were 4 laps into the Grand Prix. 4 laps in already. Feels like we've been racing for like 2 laps, not at all. But yeah, these guys still running 80% ERS. They know how precious their battery is around this circuit. And we're going to see Silly Sly go for a move into turn 1. Are we going to see the Haas go for a move for the lead of the race? He thinks better of it.
They're all behaving so far.
They're all behaving now.
I reckon when one of them pulls the trigger for the undercut. Look at Leo basically pushing Silly Sly around turn 2, turn 3 there. I'll never be able to understand how these drivers can be so comfortable running so close behind one another. If this was an open lobby, you know, someone's in the wall already at this point. But these drivers, they're so talented. They have so much trust within one another.
Yeah,
it really makes it part of the community here at PSGL.
Trust is such a massive part.
Yeah.
Of league racing. You have to trust that the driver you're racing with isn't just going to slam into the side of you or brake test you or do any of that fun stuff. But yeah, there's a titanic battle going on between the Ferrari and the Mercedes driver. The Mercedes on the hards, the Ferrari on the mediums. Can he keep it around the outside? He can't, but he might do the switchback now on the Merc. He doesn't on this occasion. He's going to be under pressure quite considerably from the cars behind. Around the outside of the Alpine. Did he go around the outside of the McLaren? They're wheel-to-wheel racing through the final sector. It's not healthy at all, but they do it well. And now he's lost out not 1, but 2 positions to the Haas as well, and almost collects him there.
I'll tell you what, it might be free here with Santa Maria go down the inside at the last corner as well.
He's lost it all. He's lost it all in 3 corners, and he might actually lose another position as well, as we're going to see Tamas go for the move as well. What's happened there?
One of those. We get more these guys fight, but more detached we're going to become from the rest of the pack. With Baka has been a great example here.
2 seconds off.
2 seconds off because he decided to go side by side for sector 2. It's not the way you want to be able to run this race, especially if you're on these medium tyres and you want to be able to, get the lap times going, get the moves flowing. Really find your mojo through these critical few corners to this Qatar Grand Prix. Had thrown him a little inside joke from the F6 lot. My word.
Yeah.
But no, here we go. Leo Lund. Leo
How are
Lund
these
looking for a
drivers
lunge,
sitting?
surely.
Yeah. How are they sitting? They took my joke. How are these? How are these sitting so close to each other? I don't understand. But Lund might not actually fancy sitting there anymore. Obviously, any sort of mistake, as we said, around this circuit will get capitalised on by these very fast drivers. And I think Lund is really thinking about his lunge here. Repeat the joke. He's going to go for a DRS move. Look at how committed they are to that corner. That is full commitment on a full tank of fuel, let's not forget, and on hard tyres. And we're going to see Leo Lund have a lunge down the inside of turn 1 on Silly Sly, or will he stick behind? Silly Sly defends the inside line, and Lund thinks better of it. He is sticking back behind. Oh, he brakes her very late. I think he hits the back of the Williams there, but he said, he's basically pushing him through the corner. He said, "Come on, mate, let's pick up the pace here. I want to get some positions."
Yeah, the more these drivers end up staying so close behind each other, the more their tyres are going to start overheating as well, which could come into benefit for those who are, perhaps keeping them 5 or 6 tenths back. But of course, they won't have a strong enough effect for the slipstream, which leaves them vulnerable to the car behind it. It's an absolutely terrible cycle to go through. As Bakker ends up picking up the first penalty, but my word,
back.
Leo Lund!
Around the outside. Oh, the switchback of dreams. Through as we said, one of the heaviest brakes on the circuit, but he's got no control of his car left. I think he's used a lot of grip to make that move stick, and his tyres were not happy with him for doing such a ridiculous move. They are really struggling those tyres now. He's dropped a second to the car in front, and that is tragic around this circuit. You will not get the slipstream effect that you desire. And the race lead, we're going to see an overtake there. The race lead, no, we're not. I thought we saw one. I thought we saw wheel-to-wheel action between the leaders into that final section of the track. But yeah, I think Leo Lund really had a problem with his tyre wear there. He was all over the road after making that move.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Leo's been able to keep within the DRS range. We'll just have confirmation of that with the rear wing. Yes, he has. That is absolutely beautiful. Sprogis is not wanting to wait here, though. He wants to get the move done nice and early down the straight. Focus on the braking point for turn 1. Be able to get the car dialed in beautifully there. So easy. It's not even a problem with these drivers because of how powerful DRS is these days, and obviously how powerful Slipstream is these days. It's not even that powerful in real life. I have no idea why it is like that in game. But yeah, we are seeing some incredible drivers pull off an incredible drive at the moment. And we're 8 laps in to a 29-lap Grand Prix. We only got 20 laps to go when we cross the line next. Oh my God! Silly Sly!
That was a silly slide indeed, and he was sideways through that corner. Is that what happened the previous lap when Lund got past him? It must have been. That must have what caused the position lost. And as we see, this is the point. 8 laps into the Grand Prix, and you're all thinking, well, they're on hards. They can't be graining already. They are graining already. Hard tyres are insane on the grain around this circuit, around any circuit. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of drivers start to struggle, especially running so close to the car in front.
I mean, surely you're going to have to think that. Maybe if City ends up getting another couple slides, and he ends up falling behind for a second, and he doesn't think he can necessarily catch back up to the back of Leo. Perhaps that's time to pull the undercut. Perhaps that's the time to go for it, right?
Yeah.
He's on the hard tyres, but there's no harm in trying a 2-stop if he feels like this race is in jeopardy. But Ben Marples.
Race lead change again as Dimas takes the lead again.
Look at that.
Marples up into 4th. He smelled blood and he took his advantage.
Synergy from the Red Bull duo.
Yeah, and now he's looking to chase down the leaders of the race. Obviously, as Dimas is now into the lead of the Grand Prix, he'll know that the drivers in front are being held up not held up, I'd say that wrong, but, bit of tactical play going on between the Red Bulls here. We're going to see some tactical defending like we saw from certain other drivers in Formula 1.
Yeah, there's always a chance. I mean, we've seen it before with Red Bulls. We saw it before in F6 with the race round into Lagos. drivers backing each other up for their teammates. Now, although PSGL isn't necessarily known for the constructors aspect, it's more of a solo drivers. These drivers, their teammates, they're being given each other. They have to work together. Best way you can work together is by giving someone a favour.
Yeah.
Then you'll be in the IOU book. And
Yeah,
perhaps,
then they owe you a favour.
yeah.
That's how it works.
Perhaps a little bit further down the line, Ben might need a favour. Perhaps maybe not even in PSGL. But Ben might need a favour from Dimas, and Dimas, remembering this moment, is going to be like, hold on, I've already done you a favour. Why do I have to give you another one?
Well, London's going to get quite the slipstream here. Obviously, slipstream once is powerful. Slipstream twice is outrageous. But are we going to see Springer's go around the outside? He makes the move stick, and he's into the lead of the race. But he doesn't get the best acceleration off the corner. I thought Dimas actually got better traction off the corner. But he's still running in second place now. DRS overtaking DRS chicken, as we like to call it in the business. And these guys are just fantastic around here. Like, it's spectacular to watch these guys drive around this circuit.
No, it's I can't think of a more suiting word to say the least than spectacular, because it certainly takes your breath away. The fact it's also night as well, and you get to see all the sparks fly up from underneath the cars when they're taking something, perhaps slightly off camber, or riding a curb. They probably shouldn't ride, but no, it's absolutely brilliant, and it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to be able to see here at PSGL in the F4 tier. But with that being said, Ben Marples looks hungry.
Yeah, and we're not even in Hungary, we're in Qatar. But he is looking for an opportunity to put himself onto that podium. And as I said, you can get slipstream effect from one car. You can get slipstream effect from two cars. But when you get to three cars, oh boy, if Ben wanted these positions, he'd get them by pressing that overtake down for 3 seconds, and he'd make these positions up. But he doesn't get the best exit out of the final corner there.
I'll just pop up as well. He doesn't care about your ass. He's been able to say his pretty well so far, sitting at a comfy 80+%. Surely
Around the outside, Dimas does it again.
No way. The DRS just makes it so easy for these guys. These guys are talented enough to keep it within the corners, but the DRS gives them a position every lap when they want it. The cars in front which don't have the DRS in a whole world of trouble. I say that. Knowles has been able to catch back up within the DRS range now. So the only car without DRS is the car in the lead, which in this case is Dimas.
Dimas, he's running a great race in the lead of the Grand Prix. Been under pressure, swapped places a few times, but he goes a bit wide there actually, but takes a decent line out of the corner. Obviously, your entry into the corner is important, but your entry out of the corner is way more important because it gives you the acceleration. But yeah, as you can see from this circuit, how flat it really is from this this drone cam up there we have. I quite like these camera shots we have around this circuit. It's fantastic.
I made them earlier.
Dimas, yeah, I'm glad you did. Dimas looking good at the moment. With 11 laps gone, these hard tyres still running very good. They've gone through their awful graining phase, and they're now just a good race tyre.
I mean, I'll tell you what, someone who's probably going to disagree with you on the graining phase is silly. He seems to be really struggling back there, with Sven Schumacher all over the back of him. Perhaps we could see him move down there as well, but let's ride on board here with Dimas here. Expect to see that Haas whiz past.
Or not. It sticks wide in front of this lap.
Perhaps this might be the time where Sprogis decides, maybe we shouldn't be fighting as much. Maybe we shouldn't be swapping position. I want him to burn his battery. I'm going to let him stay in front. I just want him to burn up his battery so I can get him in the second stint of this race.
Yeah, it's a very clever tactic. It's sometimes it doesn't work as well, because obviously we've seen drivers back off to gain DRS and then obviously not getting them down the main straight. But yeah, it's a very interesting strategy. We'll see if it works out for him. I'm sure it will. These drivers know exactly what they're doing more than I do. We're just commentators at the end of the day. But Schumacher, as you said, pressurizing silly Sly here. But I wonder if he's being a bit sly about actually his real pace. I think he's got a lot more pace in that Williams than he's showing right now.
I mean, you say that, looking at the alternate lines he's taken, that car doesn't look dialed in. It doesn't look like it's on a knife edge like some of the other cars in front and behind him. I mean, unless it's something to do with perhaps an unexpected calculation with the fuel, perhaps having to try and rebalance on the fly compared to just using the setup that they normally be working on. pits, and he just doesn't seem to have it dialed in perfectly.
No, not at the moment. We're also going to overtake for the lead once again, and Dimas doesn't battle that one. He knows when he's beat, and he's beat down the back. So we've got a couple of pit stoppers here on lap 13. We got our Williams of Elks into the pits for a set of medium tyres, and Ivan also onto a set of mediums as well. That probably makes more sense. I think the hard medium was the strategy that it said. There's also, for the medium runners, medium to soft.
Yeah, can I see that working here? No.
No.
Not at all, to be quite frank with you. But someone I can see working here is Leo. Gets
Yellow
him in the
flag.
10th, and Jeremy.
Oh, safety car. A full course safety car here. What has happened to Jeremy? It was a race with so much promise, and it's ended here on lap 13. I assume that's out of the exit of the heavy braking zone.
Yeah.
Turn 6.
He's ended up either dumping it on the throttle, or end up perhaps getting a little tap round and end up facing the inside of the exit of turn 6 there, which leads me to think that maybe it might have been something to do with the throttle placement. Very unfortunate there from Jeremy AlphaTauri. And also, it's very unfortunate as well for Elekez and Santa Maria, who have already pitted.
Yeah, it does kind of ruin our racing experience because we're now going to see everyone just dive into the pits for a new set of tyres. We can see anyone risk it, stay out, just have a bit of fun. Oh, there's a bit of a argy-bargy going in the pit lane there.
Someone's just done a Seb. Who was that? Was that Noel? Doing a
now
Seb?
the thing is, with the way the pit lane is, you can do that because it's very wide. Oh my god, we're seeing people go for it. I think the Aston's made a move as well. Oh, it's all chaos in the pit lane. Oh, Noel's lost all his positions. He's ghosted. He's ghosted through everyone.
How that is massively unfortunate.
Oh,
as well, the double stack as well. You've got to think about that.
Yeah.
Look at Marples all the way down in 16 here.
Schumacher's he's up into P5.
Oh my word.
Wow, that hat was sideways going out of the box there. But yeah, it's who has the pit stop really helped?
It's not helped Marples, I'll tell you that much. Coming down in P14, that's really unfortunate for him.
Well, that Williams will pick up a few places. Elks will get a few drivers into turn 1. Yeah, I think he's got the McLaren. He actually made it up to 13th from his pit stop. Someone let's keep an eye on there. Backer's had to pit onto a set of hards.
Now, because this safety car's been about the halfway point.
Yeah.
He's done halfway. So he knows hards can go, right? He knows where hards can go.
Yeah.
But can he push for the remaining 15 laps? Obviously, we'll have 1 or 2 here for the safety car, so you'll be looking at 13 laps pushing on a lighter fuel load. Those hard tires,
it will help people's fuel as well.
Yeah, those hard tyres as well looked pretty solid before they all came into the pits. Obviously, they had the little wobble in the middle, but...
It'll be interesting to see. The graining phase on the mediums isn't too terrible. The mediums is the best racing tyre. Actually, to be honest with you, I think the soft's the best racing tyre in the game. We've proven that many a time in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, no, the mediums are arguably the best solid race tyre in the game. I do expect a lot of these guys to pull away from Bakker, especially on the first couple of laps, because those hards, oh boy, do they take a few laps to actually, remember they're a set of tyres.
Well, if they need any more time to remember that they're a set of tyres, surely safety car's going to help with that. A lot of weaving, trying to keep it off the marbles, keep it off the dust and the dirt and the grit and the sand, which covers the track here if you're not on the racing line. Surely you'll be able to weave them up into life, and they'll finally realise, oh, I'm a Pirelli tyre. I'm a hard tyre. I should last a little bit longer than these guys. Let's get some overtakes done towards the end of the race. But I'll tell you what, Santa Maria having to pit now. Ah, dear. Santa Maria's had a bit of a race to forget in the Aston Martin.
I don't know if they've got any damage there, or are they just changing their strategy up? What's going on?
I believe they might be coming back into the pits to fit a pair of hard tyres. Or a brand new set of mediums.
New set of mediums. I guess, I suppose it doesn't matter too much. You get a free stop anyway. Didn't really gain anything from making that pit stop. I suppose 1 lap younger medium tyres will help best they can. In terms of people, obviously, we can see people that have gained from that pit stop. Schumacher up to P5 from the pit stop phase as well. Simone gaining 6 places as well.
Kodor
just
9
during the race.
as well.
Yeah, and obviously our mate, Kodor 9. gaining 9 places. Obviously, our biggest loss so far this race. Marple's down 9 places from the
Yeah,
start
that
of the
would
race.
have been a double stack. That's one of the problems you end up having when you've got two really competitive, really good, quick race drivers who are able to match each other perfectly. Is the double stops in this game. They don't make it easy. They
No.
sure as hell don't make it easy.
They're a lot better than they were previously.
Oh yeah.
But they're still very bad. Obviously, for an AI, they don't have the same. To be fair, for an AI, they don't actually have the same capacity that actual F1, pit stop crews do. Because I think personally, F1 pit stop crews are the most impressive people on like the planet. Really, like when they get it right. Oh, but like that. Do you remember that 1.9 second pit stop for Sergio this year?
Yes. Animals.
Like people in Subway can't make me a sandwich in 1.9 seconds.
I'll tell you what, the safety car won't be able to get around this corner in 1.9 seconds. There we go. But we are scheduled to get back underway racing here for the next 14 laps around Qatar. Now, my word, are we going to be in for a little bit of a juicy restart here?
I think we are. Hopefully, obviously they do say the rules safety cars lead to safety cars. Hopefully we won't see that this afternoon. But we're going to see Dimas have a go, and the Haas is already gone. He's decided, you know what, that's the point. Doesn't want to be dragging down the main straight. And through that final corner, he actually looked planted through that final corner. Springers, and he gained 5 tenths there from the start of the restart. Everyone called out from that one as the race has been restarted here, lap 16. So you said 14 laps to go. We're seeing any moves in the background. Everyone sort of giving their notice to the car in front, but not making any moves at the moment. Everyone sticks in the positions they were. Schumacher looked to be very aggressive off the start. I thought he was going to get Sly off the start, but he didn't.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we've seen it so far with Sly in this race. Although that car may have had a few wobbles, he's been able to keep the car planted and be able to keep it pointing in the right direction and keep it on the part of a racetrack, knowing people won't be able to get past him on the outside. On the inside, he's been able to direct that car exactly how he wants to keep the cars behind. Well, behind.
Yeah. As I said, Bakker struggling. 1.6 seconds. He's lost another position that I told you those hards would not work for him, and he's lost a position round the outside. Beautiful move there from the Williams, the driver, who's gained actually quite a lot of positions due to making his pit stop a lap earlier than everyone else did. But yet these hards are not going to work for him for the last couple of laps. If you're a fan of the Ferrari man and if you're a fan of the Ferrari team, look away because he's going to drop a few places here at the start.
I wish I could look away, but my word. No, it's one of those. It's unfortunate to see it as oh dear, Molnar ended up picking up another track warning penalty. Sure, it's not the first we've seen, and it definitely won't be the last. We know what it's like, but
he's going to get mugged down the back straight here.
Yeah.
As Lund sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and we're going to see a 3-wide moment into turn 1. We're going to see a 4-wide moment as the Alpine wants to get involved as well. Oh, it's wheel to wheel.
Get the elbow out. Look at him.
And Mayer, and he gets round into P13. Great move there from Marples. Oof. As Monar wants to make that move stick, but realised there was a gap that kind of disappeared. The Ferrari's wheel to wheel as well, and he's made the move. Noel now makes the move too, and it's just gone backwards from Bakker here. It's just been a bad day.
Surely is that Santamaria going for a dive bomb now?
Oh, and he did.
That is.
He didn't make it stick though, but will he have the grip around the outside? Oh, I thought he was going for the move up the inside there. I held my breath for a second.
No, that's perhaps a little too strong there for Santamaria to decide to try and go for. But no, you did mention Bakker is going to have a little bit of a hard time trying to get these hard tyres back to where they really should be pace-wise. And we've seen that, and he's ended up falling down an awful lot of positions. Perhaps that'll be something for him, the engineering team as well, to be able to look at and reconsider. But throughout the rest of the grid, everyone is very, very close. As
Jesus
has a little moment there. But swapping over here to the other Alfa Romeo? That's not an Alfa Romeo. That's an
Aston Martin.
There we go.
Oh, I thought we were saying a change for the lead, but we're not just yet. DRS is enabled this lap. Marples makes up another position, but he's then got 2 seconds to catch the back of this pack. Due to, I think that was Bakker off the line. Lost a lot of time due to his hard tyres. But the battle continues. P1, P2, P3, and P4 all in it. Schumacher just on the edge of the battle, but not, I'd say, fully involved in this fight at the moment. I'm sure Sly will want to get Lund back because he really did catch him out in that middle sector. You do like, of all places to be overtaken, that's not the place I'd expect.
No, that's not the place you want to be overtaken either. Everyone losing so much time through there because of it. But he's been able to, you know, keep touch, keep pace with the rest of them, and being able to work his way back up through, which is brilliant to see. But Bakker as well, he seems to have found his rhythm, settled in. Santa Maria seems to not be able to get past him. So the leaking stop for now for Bakker. But as we come through this last sector, I commentator curse. Bakker's just lost position, hasn't he? Oh, I am so sorry.
He's down into
I am
19.
so sorry, but we're looking here.
Lund.
Everyone is so close. It's getting.
The weaving started. The weaving started. But there's nothing the driver can do. Dimas makes the move. He's instantly leading the race, but he might lose the lead of the race here to Leo. Can Leo force his way around the outside? He's going to go the long way around. The McLaren man gets forced off, but not forced off aggressively. Brilliant defending there from Dimas, and now he's under pressure from a new challenger as Lund begins his charge for the race lead.
Yeah, Dimas and Sprogge's been swapping that to P1, going down into turn 1 almost every lap, realistically. Now Lund's thrown himself into this situation. How's Dimas going to have to adapt and approach his style to racing Lund here compared to Sprigos? You know, is there going to be perhaps a little bit of history between these two? Is there going to be perhaps a little bit more unwillingness to swap and trade positions? I mean, well, I guess we're going to have to find out for it down in turn 1. But Leo, all over him at the minute. Being able to keep basically within 2/10 throughout that entire middle sector, which is really impressive.
Very impressive indeed. He must have running a lot of downforce on that car, but obviously you don't really need a lot of straight line speed due to the power of slipstream around here. It does help, but it's not going to help too much. As the Haasman still involved in this fight, but Sly is lurking in the background. He is willing to take that position from him anytime he wants. And now down the back straight here, Lund DRS enabled, ERS on. Let's see how close the McLaren can get to the Red Bull here. I think there's a couple of dumping batteries going on. Lund's not going to close in enough. He won't send it from there, and he keeps behind the Red Bull driver. Did Lund seem to lift off there a bit? He seemed to not have the best exit through that corner, it seemed. And Sly is right on the back of the Haasman as well. Schumacher waiting to pick up the pieces as Lund just pulls to the right hand side, just letting the Haasman know he's there. So Spriggs having a decent race. He was running in the lead, but obviously now lost it to the man who currently leads the race, Dimas, and lost his second to Lund as well. But he's not out of this race yet. 9 laps to go. Anything's possible here in PSGL.
Yeah, really hard here in P3 currently, as you mentioned. There's still 9 laps to go. That's the key point of what you just said there. As long as Rehard manages his ERS, his fuel, and the tyres successfully, he'll be for sure in for an opportunity to use the DRS to help him get an overtake sorted, to help him reclaim that lead. But someone who might not be waiting for the DRS is Sven here, closing up to within a 10th of Silly. Now, we're going to have to watch on board here. Surely we'll be able to see a move for the lead if it happens, going down the main
I think
straight.
he's the dark horse of this race. I think Sven's got something about him in this Alfa Romeo. Big fan of the Alfa Romeo in real life. Big fan of the car itself. Look at this. You can see the weaving going on in front already. And I think Lund is going to go here into turn 1. Or is he not? He's going to stick behind once again. Oh, I thought we could see a move from the Mercedes. It would have been late. It would have been bold. It would have been brave. And honestly, someone I feel bad for at the moment, Marples and the rest of his crew have basically dropped off this pack, and they keep fighting. They're not going to catch the rest of this crew at the moment. No,
that's probably the case. It looks like they're sitting there, they're fighting. They've decided, hey, let's not work together. Let's not DRS train and get ourselves back into contention to be able to reach P11 and really put a challenge on a Kodor and Morak in 11th and 10th. They just seem to be too intertwined with the fighting, and that just comes with a little bit more experience. They'll be able to realise who they're supposed to be racing and who they're supposed to be fighting. It's unfortunate for these guys, especially Marples, who, I mean, through the double stack at the pit stop, he just doesn't deserve to be down there. He doesn't deserve to be caught up in that fight. He should have been out here racing like Silly, Sven, Andrew, racing for the lead of this race, because my word, is it getting hot in here. Oh,
yeah.
Going back down the main straight.
Well, 7 laps to go when they cross the line. And it's anyone's game at the moment. Sven seems to close up a lot in that final sector, but then loses it around the final corner, and no change for any positions at the moment. This is what we like to call waiting till the last gasp for these drivers. You tend to see this a lot in league racing, that drivers will wait until literally the very last moment to make their overtake stick. Because the thing is, around this circuit, with DRS, with Slipstream, as we've been over, you do not want to be the driver leading going on to the final lap, unless you're the driver crossing the line first, because you'll get slipstreamed by everyone, because they all have full battery.
No, I mean, I'll tell you someone, though. The AlphaTauri in the background, within a tenth. We've just got a little bit of information there from chat. Ben ended up double stacking and also had to change his front wing as well. That's really unfortunate for Ben there.
It's a rough race. It's a rough race.
Down there to Mr. Marples. But let's try and not take anything away from this great battle we've got for the lead so far. Everyone is able to, really get their elbows out.
Oh,
and,
Lund is
fight.
so close.
He's not going to be close enough. It'll come to the end of this last corner. He'll lose a bit too much time, and if he ends up deciding to pull the trigger now and burning a little bit of his ERS, as we can see, it's on almost 100%. It'll be bold. It'll be bold.
Yeah,
it'll
be bold.
I don't think there's enough time here to be able to get ahead and pull away, considering everyone's on almost identical tyres.
Oh, but he doesn't matter. He's going for the move now. This is it. This is the moment for the McLaren man. He breaks a bit earlier. He doesn't get the move done. Is he still around the outside? No. Wow, the swipe. Oh, the Haas on the other side wants to make the move, and he thought about it and didn't make it stick. We saw the Aston Martin retire in the pit lane there. I think that's because he had about almost 12 seconds worth of time penalties for exceeding track limits, and he decided that there is no point racing the rest of this Grand Prix because it's just going to drop back anyway.
Yeah, Viola decided to cut his losses and be able to sit back and join us all here watching this battle for the lead commence, and perhaps maybe give a couple words of encouragement to Santa Maria, who finds himself in that backpack of Ben in P11. It's unfortunate, but these drivers all still pushing. I mean, you can see it there. That little gap on track, about 2.7 seconds, doesn't look like much, but around a circuit like here at Qatar, the Losail International Circuit, it's absolutely huge.
Yeah. Lund once again so close through that final sector. He is just absolutely pushing DMAS to the limit through that final sector. And then he won't get the launch off the final corner, but he won't pull the trigger. As we said, this man will not pull the trigger until it's absolutely necessary to do so. Are we going to see any moves down into turn 1? Look at how many cars are close to the lead of the race. Any of these guys tangle, and it could absolutely all change around before we cross the line at the end of this lap. And will Lund finally go for it? Will he go up the inside? He thinks about it, and he's going to get swiped back across, not as aggressively as DMAS did last lap. But once again, everyone's sticking in position, everyone knows their roles, and the last lap will be the lap to pay attention to.
Yeah, no, it's all bubbling up lovely, as we like to say down in F6. This is going to be a thrilling, intense battle here on the last couple laps here. But Leo knows what he's got to do. All these drivers have been in positions where they've been capable of winning these races, and it'll just be about them finding that perfect opportunity to be able to push and understanding when to go. And how to approach it. Like DMS, you saw there in turn 2, decided not to squeeze out Lund too much, because he knows that if he does that, it'll only be Sprogis who's going to end up capitalising on it, and he'll be able to swipe straight past Lund and be right on the back of him again, as Hamas ends up picking up another penalty. It's been a very unfortunate race down there for the Ferrari guys, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not been a good race for Ferrari at all. Lund, on the other hand, is still behind DMS, not as much as he was previously on the last couple of laps. I wonder if we're starting to hit that graining phase for these medium tyres. As we actually see a bit of battery usage there from the Haas man Spriggus trying to make the move. We've got a bit of weaving going on in front as well. I wonder if DMAS is finally willing to give up the lead of the race. Oh, early on the brakes there from Lund. That could have been very dangerous if there was a car a little bit closer. That is exactly what we expect from these guys in front. They know what they're doing.
They know how to race this. They know how to be able to pick their opportunities. As you mentioned there, Spriggus, very happy just to sit back here at the minute, but surely you got to think someone's going to end up pulling the trigger sooner or later, and that'll be Spriggus, Silly, even Schumacher being able to try and get the jump on one of these guys. And when the fighting starts behind, they'll be able to open up a little pocket and let these guys at the front absolutely go for it. As Eleka's also having a little bit of a mare there, having a few problems battling along with Santa Maria. But to be quite honest with you, I don't want to swap off this front three fight. But I feel like the second I swap off it, something's going to happen.
Yeah, Elekis with a time penalty as well. Elekis had a decent race and then just sort of fell back through the pack. But yeah, this is quite incredible. These three drivers know exactly when to pull the trigger. We saw this in other racing series as well. In F1 Esports, we saw a very similar battle at USA where 4 drivers pulled the trigger on the last lap. An absolute carnage happened, leading to Yana Otmir picking up another victory last season. We're down the back straight now. Are we going to see Lund pull the trigger, or is he going to stick behind the Red Bull driver? He pulls to the outside line. The Haas is there as well. The Haas makes the move. It's a double move as Dimas loses 1 position. Is he going to lose 2 in a couple of corners? They're banging wheels here, and he forces the Haas out wide. But can the Haas get the switchback move here? Spriggs doesn't get the move, but Lund did pull the trigger there, and he was absolutely ready for it. And now he's into the lead of the race, but still quite a few laps to go as there's battling all through the grid. His teammate, bit of tap in the back there. He's made up into P8.
Yeah, no, everyone's swapping positions. Everyone's closing in into each other. Everyone's playing a little bit of position chicken, trying to find out how to get the best slipstream possible. I can't believe it's coming to this, to be honest with you. All these drivers are fighting for that little bit of slipstream as Lund has decided now is the opportunity he's got to take. He's got to deploy his battery. He's got to try and build a gap. He's got to try and break out the DRS of DMS. But DMS knows this. DMS is going to start applying a little bit more pressure, start using a bit more battery to close this gap back up, as we can see here. Closing 2 tenths within the final sector. Just being able to follow the car through here and use that, slipstream around the corners, which is something so unique to these critical parts of the circuit, the fast corners. Being able to use the slipstream there and not attract so much dirty air, it's absolutely brilliant.
Here we go. Is Dimas going to go for it? Into turn 1. Oh, I thought we saw something there. As Dimas goes for the... No, he doesn't go for it. As Sproggs goes for it instead. And he takes P2 away from the Red Bull. The Red Bull's off the road. He's all over the place. And Dimas loses 1 position more. And he's down to 3rd now. And did he back off of Lund? And that opened the door for Spriggs. That is the danger of backing off of the driver in front.
Yeah, DMS will not be happy with that one. Won't be happy with how little room he was given on the outside. Thankfully, a lot of his track is run off, so there wasn't any squeezing into a barrier. But no, if I was DMS, I'd be shouting it on my headset to the engineer, telling him, hey, he's just pushed me off track. Can we get the stewards on that immediately? Spriggis, without carrying the world, he's going to be putting his foot down. He knows there could be a chance here to win this race.
Yeah, we're heading on to the penultimate lap of this GP. We've had some fantastic racing. Obviously, it's a shame we had that safety car midway through, basically when the pit stop phase was about to start, because kind of ruined what could have been an even better race. But we found some fantastic racing here at the Qatar GP.
I'll tell you what,
and
if
you go for the move here.
If you lot like spec series, this is the closest thing you're going to get to F1 spec series. Close for F2, all of them almost on identical tyres. Now there's a 5/10 gap. Lund already pulls out to the side here, trying to break the toe.
He's already breaking the toe. He knows exactly what he's doing. But look at that speed into turn 1. He's not going to make the move. He knows exactly when he has to make that move stick. And he's got another lap to wait. But if he doesn't make it into turn 1, he's going to have to send some crazy move up the inside somewhere. And I think, that is exactly what this driver will do. He is arguably pushed the hardest out of everyone. He's been leading a lot of these laps. And now he has an opportunity to still win the race as we follow through this penultimate lap with him. Can the Haasman get that victory that he feels that he deserves this afternoon?
I'll tell you someone as well who's made absolutely brilliant work.
Oh! And that changes everything. Lund picks up 3 seconds.
Oh, no.
And that'll drop him bad on the points, pretty much.
That'll drop him down to P9.
Oh no, that has ruined what will be an excellent last lap, and Lund will be ruling that one later in the afternoon. And Spriggs doesn't need to overtake him now; he can just sit behind him. But I'm sure he'll want to get the move done on track. And now it's everyone's opportunity to close in. The battles are really for P4, but here we go. The move for the lead of the race. Lund is pushing as hard as he can as we head onto the final lap. The Hassman is too far back. He goes for the lunge. He can't make it stick. He doesn't need to. He's got the lead at the moment as it stands due to time penalties. But as we move on with this race, at the moment, it'll be Spriggs who will win it. It'll be Dimas who finishes in second. He'll finish in second.
Yeah.
And Sly will finish in third. So it's down to Sven if he wants that podium finish to overtake Sly. But we're on the final lap here, and it's so difficult to overtake through the middle sector of this circuit.
It all comes into play here whether Leo's going to be, perhaps a bit tactical about it and thinks that, maybe you can get the penalty cancelled. Maybe one of the track limits shouldn't have been a track limit. Maybe he's picked up a double track limit and he's backing the cars up here to try and, cause a bit of disruption further down the field. Or whether he's just thinking, right, okay, if I finish first on track in my book, that's a win for me. I don't care. Very Sebastian Vettel Canada-esque. But Rehards is going to
he's made the move up the inside!
anything
what
about
a
that.
move!
What
That
a move
was
into turn
crazy.
12. Absolutely phenomenal. Tell you what, keep an eye on Dimas as well. He's looking a bit feisty. He looks like he wants to have a chance here as well.
Yeah, he does. He's got run off wide off the circuit. So is Sven in the background. It's all kicked off with 2 corners to go. But as we cross the line, it will be victory for Spids in the lead of the race. And he'll cross the line to win. But can Sven take Sly on the line? Sven takes Sly on the line and he gets a podium. He's beaten the Williams
Word.
by 1/10 of a second. And it's tragic for Sly as he loses his podium with about a few car legs to go. That was absolute madness on the final lap.
Sly! How? Oh, my word. Oh, so unfortunate there from Sly. As Kodal Ngolo ends up picking up driver of the day there. But I'm not too sure I agree with that one.
Oh, what the penalty?
I mean, the driver of the day. As we'll see, the driver's coming out, celebrating here on the podium. My word, what a race! Qatar, you've delivered.
Yeah, absolutely. As we expected, the Haas team pick up their well-deserved victory here. And Sven onto the podium, which wasn't a possibility until he came past Sly on the line. But yeah, that is spectacular there, as we have another brilliant race in what is already a brilliant season here in Formula in F4. But yeah, there is your final finishing order. Spriggs picks up the victory there from starting second. He wins the race. Dimas finishes in second. Sven from 7th to 3rd. Great race from him. Sly finishes in 4th. Andrew comes home to finish in 5th from 10th on the grid. Lillian in 6th. Lund falls down to 7th with that 3-second time penalty. From 20th to 8th for Cord, as that's a great race from him. Nicola finishes in 9th in the Alfa Romeo, and Marfels does get a point, but I'm sure he would have wanted a lot more in that race.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate though for Marples. I think he drove an absolutely stellar race. I think he was going to be my driver of the day. But without further ado, I believe we'll get cooking with some interviews. But in the meantime, I'm going to chuck you over to the beautiful sponsor of this championship here at PSGL, GT Omega.
Desperately trying to hang on. He's got the inside. Up here is through on the left hand side. Pumps the apex, gets all the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the ghost is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.
Right, it's back to us here on the cams. Let me just adjust my hair there, because my word, that race brought us over a bit, didn't it?
It did right at the end. I think, honestly, it's a bit of a shame that Lund picked up that penalty. That would have been one hell of a final lap without it. But even with it, some position changes, some fantastic racing, and an overtake on the line to grab a 3rd place podium is exactly the sort of thing we want to see.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely brilliant. But I do believe we get a little bit of choice here of the interviews. We've got a couple of people who have hopped into the waiting room.
our top 3.
Yeah, Alex, I'll let you choose. Which order do you want to do it in?
Let's go with Sven first
Sven
because he finished
first.
in 3rd. We'll do it 3, 2, 1.
All right, okay. That's interesting. Sven, hello there.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, my friend? How did you find that one?
Well, taking the podium on the line always feels great, so I can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Basically swiped it right from under him. What,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts out of that last corner? Did you know you had the run there with the ERS being able to think, or was you thinking he might just be a bit too far, but I'm gonna give it a go anyway?
Yeah, to be honest, I saw his light flashing at the beginning of the last lap, and then I knew if I could get a tidy last lap and yeah, just get the pace on the last lap, I might be able to close up. And in the last sector, I gained, I believe, 2 or 3 tenths, taking all the risk, also running a bit off track because I had a warning. I still had room for 1 warning before I got a penalty. And then, yeah, I got a run up. He was lagging a bit, so it was quite confusing if I was going to catch him. But at the end, I think I had 30% more ERS, so it was quite an easy catch. But I really didn't expect it mid last lap.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely brilliant. Honestly, those last couple of laps. How did a safety car impact your race? Because we saw you shoot up quite a bit.
Yeah, like I think the 2 Red Bulls were in front of me, so they had to double stack, and that way I gained 1 position. We were also planning to like box in lap 15 or 16, I think. So it wasn't like a disturbance. So yeah, it was quite nice to have a safety car around the pit window for us. So yeah, it gained me 1 position, but that was like it.
Yeah. I mean,
It did help though.
yeah, every
Yeah.
little helps. You gotta remember that one, especially when everyone's as close as they were today. My word, that was absolutely brilliant. Alex.
Yeah. I just want to say, obviously, obviously watching on board, it's obviously a lot different and when you're actually racing. But like, how are you guys like? That's so close. You're racing every single lap within about a tenth of each other, and like, are you just so trusting of the drivers around you, or are you confident in your own skills that you're not going to slam into someone?
Yeah, basically it's you're always watching the car in front of you, and you have a button to watch behind you, so you press it sometimes. But basically it's all the feeling. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
all it.
Yeah, it's
That makes sense.
all for emotion. Now, me and Alex do this thing whenever it comes to interviews, where we're going to ask you for one positive standout moment from this Qatar race. It could be in qualifying as well if you'd like, but I feel like I already know what it's going to be. It'll be that last lap overtake, surely.
Yeah, of course. Of course it is.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going down in the clipboard. You'll be looking at that one again tomorrow, thinking, you know what, I did a bloody great overtake there. That was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
But yeah,
just
no,
calculating it at the end. So
yeah, it all comes down to those little minor details. And congratulations on being able to pick up a podium here, Sven. You're looking to try and take it into next week for Spielberg.
I hope so.
Hope so. You're looking forward to it. Is it a good track for you?
I can't really say now because I haven't touched it on this game. But I like the layout. And also the qualifying is going to be really tight.
Oh yeah, I can
So
imagine.
I'm really looking forward to it. And also in the race, you have like I believe 3 DRS zones, so it's gonna be on for some great battling.
Yeah, no, it'll surely make up for some great battling. And I'm sure the people watching at home also say congratulations to you and well done. And,
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in and having a little word with us for this interview. It's been absolutely a pleasure.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for interviewing me.
More than
It's
welcome.
all right.
Thank you, Sven. Great race
Sven.
again, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Yeah, you too, man. You too. Right, bringing our second place finisher.
What a lovely bloke.
What a nice guy.
What a
nice
lovely
chap.
You know what? If everyone were interviewed like that, it was absolutely brilliant. Right.
If I interviewed everyone like that, I'd have a pound.
Yes.
Yes.
I think you're supposed to say if you got a pound for everyone you spoke to like that, you would get a pound, not just a
Well,
pound.
It's the same thing. You know what I meant.
I know what you meant, but people at home might not have.
Well, now they
So-
do because you explained it.
Did I? So, Dumas in next, yeah?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
So he finished second. That's
Yeah,
how it
I was
goes.
just saying we could have perhaps maybe got the 2 in. But here you are, Alex. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. How you doing, my good friend?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, pretty good. So, how were the thoughts after that race? Being able to pick up a P2 must hurt a little bit considering you were in charge for so much of that race.
I want to thank my engineer for being my race engineer, of course, and helping with stuff. I'm pretty happy, really, because everything went as planned. I knew I need to improve my race pace a bit because my quali pace was just good. But I know that Sprogies, aka Wildy, is really good in the race. So I couldn't keep up with them. And the thing is, if you're P1 here, you lose your ERS. And yeah, just I missed out on that. And the guys behind me had 100% ERS, and I didn't. So yeah, that was also a factor.
We saw the likes of Leo lifting off and starting to lift and coast, to be honest with you, mate. Just trying to save their own ERS. But no, it was absolutely brilliant work from you. Brilliant work from your engineer as well, being able to keep you informed so well throughout the entire race. It was absolutely fantastic watching you drive. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just commiserations you weren't able to get on that top step because for me, you wholeheartedly deserved it, mate. You were absolutely spiffing throughout that entire race.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
definitely. P2 is good.
Yeah, it's definitely something to go forward and start thinking about next week at Spielberg. How are you feeling about Spielberg around Austria?
I don't know. I still need to drive on it, of course.
2 people not drive on it yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's surprising.
But
yeah, I will see. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see what the setup and stuff and the times and the race. So yeah.
All right, fair enough. Well, I think that's all my questions I have answered.
We do have one more question.
Oh, of course,
Special
yeah, sorry.
one. Alex, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, so what is your highlight from the race, from that race? If you could pick one for yourself, like it could be in qualifying or it could be in the race, what do you remember, when you finish tonight, you're going to go back and think, oh, that was pretty good?
The quali was good. The race was shit, to be honest, in my opinion.
To be fair, that quali lap was quite magical.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I had more in it. I messed up sector 2 a bit.
you had more in
one
it.
corner before the end of sector 2. So 0.8 was in there, 0.8 high, but that was the perfect lap for me. So yeah, happy with the quali lap. That's the only thing, really.
Well, incredible quali lap. Obviously a shame to not win the race, but to finish second, considering you thought you had a bad race, pretty good. Anyway, so on to Austria next weekend.
Yep.
Or next Thursday.
Yeah, see you.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much, Alex, for coming and joining us here.
Yeah.
Thank you, mate.
For commentating as well.
You're more
Oh,
welcome.
thank you.
More welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, bye-bye.
In a bit.
Right, so we'll bring in our race.
Two lovely people.
2 very nice issues. So let's make it a hat trick.
Let's hope for Rehard here, who should be here. Fingers crossed.
Yep, I'm here.
There we go. Lovely. How are you doing after that one?
Oh, fantastic, man.
Fantastic. A little bit sweaty, I can imagine.
Oh, really sweaty,
No, brilliant race, mate. Honestly, throughout that entire race, we saw you there. Played it very tactically with the ERS and the DRS. Not fighting where you didn't need to, and just staying behind at some points, which chose to be the right call and the right strategy. But how do you feel like the safety car affected your race there? Because to us, it kind of made it look a bit more like a spec series. Everyone in equal cars on equal tires. It was awfully fun. It was very good to watch.
The safety car was pretty good for me because I was leading, of course. So no one could undercut or overcut me. So as you said, it's all equal. So it's all about your speed and your strategy, what you will be doing, and saving ERS and all that. So yeah, I knew that I got the speed to win the race because my race pace is always faster than the quali. But now finally my quali pace was back on action. So yeah, I was really happy with the lap and the P2 and the quali and then race. On the race, I was um a bit petulant to see, and I wasn't ready to win. No, sorry, I wasn't ready to lose. So I was all in for the win, and yeah, when I was third, when Leo Lund overtook me for the P2, so I was P3. My engine was quite overheating when I saw, so yeah, I was quite nervous that I won't overtake them once again. But then they were starting to fight, and yeah, I had the chance to overtake Dimas, which I did. So I was back on P1 to the in the fight for P1. So yeah, on the last lap, oh, I think it was second to last lap where Leo got penalty. So
Yeah.
I was really happy with it. So
But you
but
you, you didn't decide just, hey, he's got a penalty, let's stay behind. You still went for it, which is absolutely brilliant to watch.
Into turn 12 of all places as well. That was quite the move up the inside. But yeah, did you think at that point, like, he's got a penalty, all I need to do now is keep it clean and I'll win this race? That was it, was it?
no, it wasn't, to be fair, because penalties could get removed. So
Very true.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I wanted to win. So I had to do it and went for a gap, which I did, and yeah, overtook him, and really happy with the win finally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it was very good.
Yeah, you got the win here. Looking to next week though, Spielberg. It's a slightly different track. Let's say that it's no longer in a desert. How do you feel like you're going to be able to carry this momentum to Spielberg?
It used to be a really good track for me on the last game. It's not so good for me on this game, but I will practice as hard as possible and try to win back to win. So back to back wins. So
I mean,
yeah.
if it fills you with any confidence, the rest of your podium gaggle here haven't even raced around Austria yet, so there's a potential little head start there. But no, we do have one more question for you. I'll pass it over to Alex to do this question because
Yes.
I feel like he really likes it.
So we usually ask every driver when we do interviews, what was your moment of the race? So when you look back at the race later today, and you'll think, that was really cool what I did there. What would it be exactly? It could be in qualifying, it could be in the race.
hmm The moment obviously was Leo Lund's overtake to P1, but other than that, I think that's it actually, because yeah, I think
It was
that
very
was
good. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, no, that it was a fantastic move, and it's something I hope PSGL is able to screen cap and go back and add it to their trailer for their intros and outros here. But my words, that was a brilliant race from you. Really well job. And we do have confirmation here in chat that Leo's penalty wasn't removed. That'll be staying. So it turns out you didn't have to go for a move, but you gave us an absolutely brilliant showdown into T12. So thank you very much. It was absolutely brilliant, rehards.
yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for voting for me, and yeah, see you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
See you
very
next
much.
week.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Bye bye.
Right. 3 on a
Honestly.
row. 3 hat tricks. Three fantastic interviewees. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
lovely. That was
we actually got to do interviews once.
I know, it's brilliant. Thank you so much, F4, for being accommodating to us. Absolutely wonderful having you
Yes.
guys. It's been a lovely change. But I do say I do miss the F6 quite a bit. But no, what a fantastic race that was. Battles all throughout the grid. So much happening towards the start. The safety car, I feel, kind of killed a little bit of a strategy and a bit of momentum.
I think it did a bit. Yeah.
It led to that ending there, which everyone was on the equal tyres. So I can kind of forgive the FIA for calling a safety car.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where if the safety car hadn't come out, would we have seen overcuts? Would we have seen undercuts? Would we have seen soft tyres?
Yeah.
A mixture of tyres. But it's one of those things where safety car comes out, you deal with it, and we still got a fantastic race out of it anyway. But yeah, no. First of all, it's been a pleasure doing F4.
Yeah.
I hope everyone in chat has enjoyed our commentary for it. I believe next week we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming, and we won't be here for F4. We'll be back on F6, but obviously people will let you know if that changes or not. But Where are we go? Where is the next track? We've already explained to
Space.
to our things, but where is our next circuit?
Spielberg, lovely mountains of Austria. We're gonna have to come up with a slightly better outfit because we couldn't really think of one for Qatar, hence our little guitar gag. But
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Austria,
Well, we can wear lederhosen.
no,
No?
please, no, please.
Not lederhosen. Well,
No.
there is a certain driver that's very popular around that circuit that I believe now has the most race victories around that circuit as well.
I can't quite think about who that is.
Who could it be?
But
Well, but you'll
gonna-
find
we're
out
gonna
next
have to
week on
wait.
the F6 stream. Yes.
yes, absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, everyone. It's been an absolute blast here in F4. Thank you, PSGL, again for having us. It's been brilliant. But until next week, see you then.
See ya.
Desperately trying to hang on. He's got the inside. Up here is through on the left hand side. Hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the ghost is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.